Our movie starts with a girl named Athena sitting at her desk and texting her friends. We learn that they're traveling together to hunt down poor people in a specially designed hunting lodge for that purpose. Afterward, we see all her friends on the plane. Suddenly, one of the poor people named Randy wakes up. A wealthy passenger is surprised that a poor person is awake now and not drugged or dead. Another passenger, a doctor, gets up to check on the poor guy and offers to help him. He asks Randy to lie down on the floor, then asks the flight attendant for a pen. As soon as he gets it, he hits Randy with it. But Randy doesn't die and instead hits the doctor with a glass bottle on his head and starts threatening everyone on the plane. At this point, Athena appears and hits Randy in the eye with her boot heel, then calmly returns to her seat as if nothing happened. The doctor takes Randy and puts him in a room with others who are unconscious. Later, we see a blonde girl waking up to find herself lying on the floor with handcuffs. She panics and tries to break free but fails. She looks ahead and sees another blonde girl named Crystal. The first girl tries to talk to her but Crystal doesn't respond and walks away. At the same time, the first girl notices a man also handcuffed and follows him until they reach a wide open space. She is surprised to find many people like them in this strange plane. They find a large box and one of them approaches to open it. Everyone thinks it's a trap, so they back away. But the man doesn't care about what they're saying and opens the box. As soon as he opens it, they find a small pig coming out of it. They also find inside the box a wall with many weapons hanging on it. So each of them takes a weapon and they find keys with them. So they unlock each other's handcuffs. They talk to each other but don't understand what's happening. Suddenly they find fire hitting them and the blonde girl dies. The fire continues, so the remaining people try to escape and hide. We see a girl trying to flee and running, but suddenly she falls into a pit and screams. One of the guys goes to rescue her. He tries to save her and pulls her out, but as they move, they accidentally step on a landmine and they both die of an explosion. The rest reach a wall and start running along it, but suddenly arrows rain down on them. One of them gets hit but keeps running, only to get hit by another arrow and die. 3 people remain and run to find a safe hiding spot. They find a gas station owned by an old man and his wife. They think the 3 are a gang coming to attack them. One of the 3 reassures them and tells them they're not here for money, they just want to know where they are. At that moment, one of the survivors eats a biscuit from the gas station, but suddenly she chokes and falls to the ground, revealing that the biscuit she ate was poison. Then the man and the old lady put on masks and throw poisonous gas bombs, killing the 3 who entered violently. Afterward, they turn on the fan to clear the gas from the area, clean the blood from the floor, and place the bodies in a room. The old lady notices that one of the killed wore a wedding ring, making her feel guilty for what they did to him. The old man tells her that they were poor and deserved death instead of the miserable life they were living. Then they talk to someone over the walkie-talkie and the old lady tells her they killed 3 of the poor. The person she's talking to realizes that there's a poor girl named Crystal coming for them right now to prepare for her death. Crystal arrives at the gas station and shows that she suspects the old man and the old lady. She asks them for a lighter and cigarettes. Suddenly, Crystal attacks the old woman, hitting her at the desk, and then she grabs a weapon from the gas station and hits the old man. She then turns and hits the old woman with the fire as well. After that, she wanders around the gas station, afraid that someone else might be there. She enters the room with the bodies, takes the weapon and ammunition from them, then leaves and sees a van. But she suspects something is wrong. She goes to the van and discovers that its license plate is fake to make it look like they are in Arkansas. She finds a thread on the van's door and understands that if someone opens it, it will explode in their face because the thread is connected to a C4 said bomb. At that moment, Crystal hears someone on the radio saying that the people who want her dead are coming to look for her because no one from the gas station is responding. So they send a very small plane with a camera to the gas station to find Crystal and make sure the old man and the old lady are safe. At that moment, a man appears and sets fire to the small plane, then heads towards the van to get in. Crystal appears and informs him that the van has a bomb. He realizes she's peaceful and doesn't want to harm him. She tells him that setting fire to the plane gave away their plan. Crystal walks away, leaving him behind, and the man follows her until they reach a railroad track. The man explains his theory to her, which is that every year, a liberal elite kidnaps ordinary people like them to hunt them down. Just then, Crystal hears the sound of a drone approaching, so she and the man run quickly and hide in it. Inside the van, they find a group of immigrants hiding in the trailer, and one of them tells Crystal and the man that they are not armed, but they don't understand him because he speaks Arabic. The man with Crystal wants to kill him, but Crystal stops him because they have a child with them. At that moment, the Qatari army arrives and searches the van, and everyone inside surrenders. The man with Crystal tells them they're Americans and don't know where they are. bar. He insists the refugees are actors and should be arrested, but the officers don't understand or care about his words because they don't speak English like him. The man with Crystal gets very angry, grabs a bomb, activates it, and puts it in the actor's pants, causing it to explode. Afterward, the officers take Crystal to the refuge tents and ask her for her documents, but she asks them about their location. They ask if she remembers where she is, and she replies that she is in Croatia. She requests them to contact the American agency, but they ignore her and tell her there's someone like her named Don, indicating she's been captured just like him. Then Crystal and Don go to eat in the camp. At that moment, a man from the American embassy appears and takes them with him in the van. He tells them he will take them to the American embassy, where he will contact the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to get military support, and assures them they will capture the criminals who hunt the poor. However, Crystal is not reassured by this employee and thinks he's one of the criminals, so she hits him and pushes him out of the van, then drives away. She returns and runs over him again with the van to make sure he's dead. Afterward, she gets out and takes the gun that he had from his pocket. When Crystal and Don open the van's truck, they find the man who was with Crystal when the army captured them. They realize the employee is indeed a liar and ask Don how he knew he was lying. She replies that everyone is a liar. Then Crystal decides to go and seek revenge on the hunters. At night, we see the hunters gathered, and when one of them comes out, he finds Don in front of him. But before the man can react, Crystal appears behind him and kills him. At that moment, the hunters in the tent hear the commotion outside and become very afraid. Suddenly, they find Crystal in front of them, brutally attacking them. One of the hunters, who is bleeding, asks the dying girl why they're treating them like this. She replies that the Lord commanded them to do so. This angers Crystal and she hits her with fire. Then Athena speaks on the radio and asks Don if Crystal is dead or not yet. Don tries to explain to Crystal that he's not one of the hunters and that the person speaking is just playing with her mind, but she doesn't believe him and kills him. Then Crystal goes and sits next to the leader of the hunters, asking him about Athena's whereabouts, but he refuses to tell her, so she presses on the wounds in his body to make him talk. He tells her how to find her and warns her because Athena has been training for months and she is ready to kill her. Crystal thanks him and hits him, which shoots him dead. We learn that there have been people aware of Athena's animal hunting operation, and they know that she might resign if this information is true. Athena denies this, gathers information about the people who conspired against her, and makes them their targets for this year's hunt. We realize she especially hates Crystal because she says terrible things about her. Currently, Crystal goes to Athena's house and Athena orders her to put the weapon she has in the mailbox at the gate, or else she will blow her up. When Crystal enters the house, she finds her picture among the list of the poor who will be hunted. She sees Athena standing in the kitchen cooking. When Crystal asks her why she's behaving this way towards her, Athena tells her that her name got confused with another person's name, and that's just a mistake, nothing personal. This angers Crystal, so she hits Athena. Athena continues to remove the expensive drink glasses before they fall. Then Crystal stabs Athena with a knife. At that moment, Crystal brutally attacks Athena and she dies. Crystal wraps herself up, bandaging her wounds, puts on Athena's clothes, boards Athena's private plane, and orders the crew to take her back to the States. She sits with the flight attendant, they have a drink together, and Crystal tells her story. And that's it. If you like this recap, hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel to keep seeing content like this one. If you have any requests or thoughts, drop them below in the comment section and we will see you at the next one. Peace out!